Well, good evening, or morning, or afternoon, whichever it is for you. Hello. Again, my name is Lewis, and I'm sharing with you what's now day 4 as we get closer and closer to Christmas Day. The idea of love during the Christmas season. Now, I'm trying a new recording program and I'm trying a new microphone, so hopefully the audio comes out really clear. And uh, what I'm going to try to do is take little steps along the way to try to improve the quality of what it is I'm presenting to you. I've said I'm doing this not for monetary gain, obviously. I'm not looking to become a YouTube sensation or a social media influencer, uh, unless it's um, something that God uses, but it's not my intention, it's not my purpose. And this is actually a trial run, just trying to see if it's stuff I can put on here to be a help and encouragement to you. If you've not seen the previous videos, I challenge you to go back and see the first three. Actually, we're going over 1 Corinthians 13, which is not your typical Christmas story, but what it actually is a letter written to the church in Corinth, and it was a church that was struggling with living right and doing right. And the writer of the letter was writing to sit there and remind the Corinthians, hey, you know better. These are steps you need to take in the walk that you're walking, the life that you're leading and living. Understand, by no means is it a book of judgment. In other words, we sit there and we look today, and it seems like people are they're giving their opinion rather than speaking what the Bible says. And the intention of this is not to sit there and to wag a finger, so to speak, but it's to get people on the right track. It's like a parent who's trying to, trying to help their child. Maybe it's more like their older child as opposed to a younger child, where you would deal with discipline and dealing along that line, instead being maybe a parent dealing with a newly we'll call it grown up adult kid or adult child who's gone out and is living out on their own, and you're trying to pass along wisdom, going, hey, look, I know you're out on your own, I know you're living your own life, but you know better. There are things that we taught you as your parents, or that that you've learned through your life, that you know better than this, and there's a higher expectation of you, and hopefully you're willing to take those steps to improve. In this particular instance, this passage is talking about having charity towards your brother, your sister, basically towards one another. And the first video we talked about, why is love important, and we discussed that people won't want to listen to you if there's not love in the words that come out of your mouth. There's not going to be a lot of value to what you're presenting to people if there's not love behind it. Even if you have all the intelligence in the world, even if you're giving of all the things that you have, charity is still an important part of that. And what better time do we see this but in Christmas time? How often do we worry about the gifts that we're giving? How often do we worry about the appearance of the house? How often do we worry about the financial struggle that we're dealing with? Understand, this is not to minimize any of those things. This is not to say it's not important to have financial concerns. But again, what we're talking is the optimal life of a Christian should live in trust and realize God said He's always going to provide your needs. Doesn't always provide your wants. And if you're willing to realize that and to live like that, you'll see an end result where God will bless you with providing for your needs. So anyway, the first three verses, or the first three ideas, the idea of the value of charity in the life that we lead. Then the next the second video, we talked about charity suffering long and is kind. And that's the one we started with, just to give a simple overview. suffering long. And we use the image of Christ dying on the cross as an example of suffering long and still showing kindness. Last time we talked about charity envieth not, charity vaunteth not itself, is not puffed up. We talked about the idea that charity was not focused on itself. It's not selfish in the things that it's trying to do. And how when you look at the verses and it says it envieth not, I don't take envy over the what other people have. I don't vaunt not itself. I don't know about you. I didn't use vaunteth as a normal word. But what is it? It's not, I'm not, again, thinking about myself. What about me? What about I? What about myself? Vaunting not myself. It's the idea is I don't put myself out there to show myself off. A lot of times we want recognition. We want the pat on the back. That's not charity. I understand having a desire to be recognized for effort and work that you put in, but if I want to show charity, I don't necessarily want the pat on the back. I don't want the recognition. I just want that other person to experience that gift, to experience that love. That's where I can see true charity. And it's not puffed up. It's not arrogant. It's not about me. And it's not taking the moment of giving a gift and making it about myself. Ultimately, it should be about that other person and what they're receiving and what they're getting. It's very easy to be selfish. Believe me, I am by no means expressing this as an expert in how not to struggle with these different pieces that we're hearing about. What I'm hoping is that through this, I can be an encouragement that we all can even challenge each other to show charity better. All right, what time we got left, which I know it's not much. I told you all on the other videos. I intend to keep these short, and so I probably shouldn't have done as big a review just there as I did. But again, this is an experiment. This is something we're trying new. So we're just hitting some quick thoughts and hopefully, again, trying to be an encouragement to you. Verse number 5. Continuing the discussion about charity, the Bible said, and by the way, we use King James here on this video. It says, "It doth not behave itself unseemly, seeketh not her own, is not easily provoked, thinketh no evil." And what we'll do is we'll just go through until time comes up. So this is verse 5 in chapter 13 of 1 Corinthians. Doth not behave itself unseemly. One of the words I found, the one that I want to use for today, is the idea of being rude. Now you might say, oh, wait a minute, that seems silly. How can you say charity shouldn't be rude? Of course not. Well, it's easy to say that, but how do we present love? How do we show it off? I've seen examples. I don't want to get too specific because if you know me, you'll know people that I reference, and I don't want to do that. But I've seen evidence and I've seen examples where people intending to show love, intending to try to be doing what's better for someone, end up doing it in a rude manner. A quick example I can give, imagine a baseball player. I played sports as a high school student. I played football and basketball. As a freshman, I even played baseball. Actually, basketball was also as a freshman. And what I want you to envision is a teammate coming over and trying to help you improve your game. Now, they can sit there and say, hey, Lewis, I was watching you, and they'll talk to you afterward. They won't do it right there in front of practice, but they'll say, hey, during the game, do you remember this play? Something I thought might help you is if you do it in this way, it might work out better than what actually happened. And if I'm willing to understand that they're trying there to be kind as they're helping me, I would take it better than if they sat there, during the moment and go, hey, stupid, the way you're supposed to do it is this. Or even if they don't say stupid, because obviously that's an obvious not trying to be kind. But in a different way, they could go, Lewis, man, how many times do we have to tell you when you do that, you need to do it this way? This is the process you need to do. Well, I'm sure they're intending to be kind and intending to be like in a helpful way, but that comes across rudely. In charity, if I'm trying to do what's best for another person and I'm trying to show them charity, what I'm not going to do is I'm not going to sit there and do my dead level best to be rude to them, to get the point across that I think they need, or to get them to understand what they need to understand. What am I doing? Again, I'm making it about myself. And it tells me if I'm going to show charity, I can't be rude about it. That's unseemly. The next part, it says, seeketh not her own. Well, if you look at other parts of the Bible, you'll see where there's an emphasis that the Christian is trying to help the other person. It talks about iron sharpening iron, so, helping a friend, and even the wounds can be helpful to that other person. Having honor, giving preference one to another. It's all ideas of helping other people. So I'm not seeking what's best for me. You know that sometimes when you show charity, you end up getting a raw end of something. And that's okay. I know that there were times where there was something I wanted and somebody else wanted something that was going to prevent me from getting that particular thing. And in the end, in order for them to get that thing, I lose mine. And it's okay. It's all right. Not because I got recognized for it, not because I got applause for it, but because that other person was able to enjoy getting what they wanted. And it's the true definition of charity. We should be able to take joy as a Christian. We should be able to take joy when someone else has a moment like that. If I was competing for a job and another Christian, got the job, even if I was more qualified, if I'm living life the way I'm supposed to, and I'm doing what I'm supposed to, if I truly love God and I trust that He's doing what He wants for me, I have to believe, you know what? Then that's great for that person, because the opportunity that they're going to have in that job, it's going to be just such a great blessing. And just imagine what I have coming down the line for me. I don't seek my own. At Christmas, I told my kids, one of my kids asked me what I wanted for Christmas. And I said, I want you guys to be happy. I want you guys to enjoy it. And I don't say it because I'm their dad. I say it truthfully. I remember being the child that people spent a lot of effort trying to make the Christmas holiday good for me, when there were times where it wasn't going to be good. There was going to be rough times and there was going to be lean times. But I wasn't made to know about it. I feel the same way for my kids. And honestly, you should feel the same way for whoever you get a chance to show charity to at Christmas time. If you have to take time away from something and donate your time to somebody else, it's okay. We don't want to seek our own. And really quick, I see I'm already over on my time. I'll do one more here. Thinketh, oh wait, I'm jumping ahead, sorry. Is not easily provoked. Boy, is it easy to be provoked. Remember a time where somebody pushed your buttons. Remember a time as a child where you pushed your parents' buttons or your siblings' buttons. Now, I understand joking around and having fun, and that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about those times where you deliberately so to speak, poke at the bear. Husbands, wives, brothers, sisters, parents, children, coworkers, friends, any of those relationships, you have these moments. Why do we get provoked? It's because our feelings are on edge. We're sitting there, and it's almost like we're looking for a reason to be upset. That's when we get easily provoked. It's when we get offended. And I find, not every time, and obviously I can't speak for everybody, I find that the times that I'm most provoked, it's the times that I'm probably not right with God. I've got anger in my heart. I've got bitterness in my heart. I've got jealousy in my heart. I've got something selfishly in my heart. And the moment something comes up that just starts to aggravate me a little bit, that's when I get provoked. Sometimes it's even something silly. There are times where it'll be legitimate. I should be provoked. Hey, somebody broke something. Hey, somebody did something wrong that now has a cost or a consequence to it. Not saying anything judgmental about you if you get provoked. What my challenge is telling you, don't be. During the holiday season, we're supposed to remember Christ. And remember, when he was dying on the cross, he wasn't provoked, because if he was, he could have destroyed the world. He could have said, forget that I even created man, just gotten rid of everybody. But he didn't. He still went through death, resurrection, one day a home in heaven. All right. Well, you know what? I'm already over. Let me finish it up. Last part of the verse. Thinketh no evil. If along the way I may get the opportunity, I may take the opportunity, I should say, to discuss the idea of forgiveness. I'll wait on that at the moment. But when you think about the idea, thinketh no evil. Some people struggle with the holidays because it reminds them of a rough time in life. I feel bad because I want to take those bad thoughts, those bad feelings away. I can't do that, obviously. But there are people that have that. There are bad memories that come with the holidays. Maybe a parent or parents that left home. Maybe somebody passing away. I know sometimes the holidays are rough because you're missing that loved one that you had before, and you just don't want to be around the holiday. And I can't condemn you for that. But what I can tell you is what the Bible says. It thinketh no evil. If there's a bitterness, if there's an anger, if there's a hatred, if there's a hurt in your heart, God says to let that go to him. It tells us in Psalms that he healeth the broken in heart and bindeth up their wounds. I can't tell you how it's done. That comes from a personal relationship with God and working with him and depending on him, talking with him daily and letting him give you that comfort and that peace. I wish I can give you it's nice and easy. All you do is this. No. But that comes from walking with him, and he will provide you that peace and that calmness so that you don't think evil, so that you can enjoy the holiday and you can enjoy the idea that Christ came to earth for you and for me. Doth not behave itself unseemly, seeketh not her own, is not easily provoked, thinketh no evil. May you enjoy the Christmas holiday. If this is the last video you watch, hopefully you've taken just the ideas that have come up here, these last 4 videos, and hopefully can use them to be a blessing. Hope you have a wonderful night or morning or day or afternoon or whenever it is that you watch it. May God bless you.